Pedro Lima.
Yes.
Who I ran into on the one train like 2 weeks ago. I'm sitting across from him and he's like, did you dance at Modern Company at BYU? And I was like, yeah. He's like, Pedro Lima. I'm like, what?
He's like, I auditioned for the Cougarettes. Nice to meet you.
Isn't that crazy? Hi, Sam.
What?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Nice to see you.
Seth, Don, Seth.
Hi, Seth.
Hello.
You mind being on video?
Pedro Lima, isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
I know.
We've both been in the city for 8 years and we've never once crossed paths.
Really?
Never once seen him in 8 years.
Like, I completely put him
I don't know
on my
him.
mind.
I've never
He's
even heard his name. I don't think.
Pedro Lima?
Pedro Lima. He was a friend of BYU. He was friends with like Clark and Don
Sounds
and
like a
maybe
fake
like
name, like
Sam Wolf and Sam Clayton, if you knew those guys.
Don't know them.
Uh,
Where do they live now? Here in the city?
Seattle.
Oh, well, how am I gonna?
Pedro's here.
Pedro's here.
Pedro's like an
They were
interior designer or something.
they were the non-performing. I was friends with the non-performing gays. I was with like the sociology gays at BYU.
And all the
sociopathic gays.
Friends.
And
Yeah.
all the performer
And then I
gays
had
were
my
straight.
and then I had my straight friends. When I didn't want to be around the homos, I hung out with my straight friends, Paul, Carlos.
Those are good times.
Funny.
I miss college.
Because, like, I know Carlos always mentions it that I can't believe how we were roommates, but we never talked about it. You know, we just never thought to like reach out, and it was just never something you could talk about.
No.
So we were both going through it at the same time, but it was just like.
There's that whole like, I think I know your secret, but I don't want you to know mine, so I'm not going to say it.
Everybody know my secret. I mean,
please.
Everybody knew that I was in a relationship with David Walker,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
everybody knew.
Oh yeah.
See, and I guess I kept
But
it
I
from
feel like
like
that was even after the time. Like even back at like Rick's,
everybody knew.
we were
But the
we were
weird
down
thing
blind.
is that, well, yes. I mean, the weird thing is that I was telling Don the other day that I actually never did anything at Rick's. I was totally straight-laced, like,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
I mean, I guess I had that big crush on James Clark, which I couldn't even identify. I was just, I just thought he was the greatest thing ever, and
Yeah.
we were just totally, like, best friends. But, yeah, that's one of the big things is, like, I couldn't identify for the longest time. Oh, I'm gay. Like, I just made these bonds with friends.
But everyone else
And I
did.
just kind of did what and sometimes I'd touch things and go places I shouldn't be going. But, yeah, I never, like, thought that.
At what point did you, like, have that like conscious like?
I don't know. I don't even remember when the word like gay or homosexual like became a part of my like lexicon. Like when I figured out, oh, that's what that is and that's what that means. I have no idea when that snuck in. But for the longest time, even all through my 20s, even when I was with David, I mean, I still never thought that, oh, I'm a homosexual. I just thought it was just this struggle that I was having, Because
Where do you think the fear of being gay came into your life? Obviously, when you're young.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was fear from the very get-go, even before knowing what it was. I think there was always a fear of something's wrong. So you're doing something taboo, like looking at underwear ads, masturbating, things like that. I mean, there was always some sort of fear about it.
But did anything ever happen? Was there any, like, something when you were young, like, where you were accused or you saw someone else suffer because of, or?
I remember back in, like, junior high, having a sleepover with a friend, and we, like, showed each other our wieners, right? And I had and it was all dark. I know. Well, see, and unfortunately I didn't have a lot of those experiences, but I kind of wish I had. I want some of those like adolescent, like silly experiences that everybody else has, but I didn't really. So I had that one, and then I showed it to him, but then he was like. Then he didn't show his, and then he went around telling people that I'd showed my penis, and I was like, I did not, it was my finger, because it was all dark and shit. It was like silhouette-y, so I was like, it's my finger, trying to cover up for it. So I guess, I don't know where all that comes from, but right from the get-go, I feel like I got to cover up for it. I feel like there's a taboo, there's something wrong with it. And I mean, I guess I can go back to like memories of rolling around with I don't even remember who the kid was, but rolling around when I was probably like 4 or 5 years old or something really young, like out in the cornfield in Utah with our shirts off.
Oh my God.
I mean, like 4 or 5 years old, maybe like
Right.
6, maybe 6 or 7. I don't know, maybe 6.
That's just two kids wrestling.
But I do have but it was like rolling with our shirts off in the cornfield, and a farmer came and caught us. And I remember that, like, we were caught, you know? And
I remember almost getting caught by a farmer before.
and then I remember this kid Alex in 7th, 8th grade, junior high. He was actually kind of the first person I did things with, although it was all very, I mean, not really did that. We would wrestle and stuff, and I remember laying down on his back, and I had a hard on, and it was pressing into his back. It was actually pressing into his butt, and I was like just like pancake, like laying on top of him. He was on his belly, and I was like, and it totally made me come, like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Like 7th or 8th grade.
Wow.
And I tried to pretend like that's not what was going on, and he never spoke about it, and I never spoke about it, and I tried to pretend that that's not what happened. I was just like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, and I got up and left, and like had to, go take care of it, but we would like have sleepovers and sort of like cuddle and touch, but nothing like blatant, like touching each other's penises and things like that, but just, I don't know, but there was always kind of this shroud of like taboo, fear, don't talk about it, don't identify it, don't speak about it, And I guess,
so you must
well,
have
and
known,
I guess maybe
so
it goes
you
back.
did know.
Yeah, because I guess
something
maybe it goes back to because I was like mildly. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't even put it in those terms of like sexually abused, but I was mildly sexually abused, like when I was a kid, and I always have those memories. And it was the Mormon gay reparative therapist who identified that for me and put it in the terms of like sexual abuse. And for the first time, I mean, this was like when I was 25, I think. For the first time, those words hit me like a wave over my entire body. I literally like felt this huge crushing blow like come over my entire system that I was like, oh my God, this is the first time I put it into that box, And I still don't really ever identify with feeling. It just kind of was what it was. I was, you're little kids and things happen, and but the therapists and maybe this is true that they believe that sexualizing things early like that before, I mean, when you're like 6 years old, before anything can become sexualized, and where boys normally go through a bonding with boys at like the age of 12 or 10 or whatever, things got sexualized really early, so everything was out of whack from early on, So that's, they believe that it's a wrong path. And then...
Do you believe that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't believe that you go on this path and then, if you go back and if you now have healthy relationships with men to fill those holes and not sexualize things with men, then you'll become straight. I think that's bullshit. But I guess, I mean, I believe it's a mixture of internal and external forces, like I believe that your temperament, your predisposition, a lot of your DNA and things like that, and the way you come into the world has a lot to do with it, and your external experiences and things, so possibly these things that happened to me early on, kind of came together, and then the way that my temperament and my particular emotions and things like that stores those memories, and because the person that I had those experiences with came out perfectly straight, and I don't even know if he remembers.
I'm sure he remembers.
You think?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.